So how are you doing? Whereabouts are you actually?
I'm actually at my mom's work because where my parents live, they don't have great Wi-Fi.
Gotcha.
So hopefully this is good. Is it good?
Yep, Wi-Fi is good.
Awesome.
That's
Um,
always like the fun part of doing the Zoom interviews is like, who has the bad connection?
yes, exactly.
Okay, cool. So Josh Ross is joining us. So kind of a pure country home hangout. You're not actually at home right now, but
Yes.
uh,
Basically home. I mean, my mom worked here for about 28 years. So
cool. So what
I
does
grew
your
up,
mom do?
she's a child and youth worker. So she works with families and stuff like that, but they're temporarily, I guess, closed down too because of all
Right.
this going on. But yeah, so
That's awesome. So where is like where's home for you?
home, I grew up in Burlington, Ontario. And then I lived in London for a while, but yeah, always come back to kind of home. And then with all this going on, I had to come back from Nashville just to be safe and make sure if something did happen, at least I'm home, right? So
Right. Yeah, it makes you appreciate home and just,
mm,
with the traveling and stuff, you don't realize I mean, we've never had to think about that. Like, hey, what if something like that was to happen?
it's
What,
crazy.
what
It
do you do?
really is. And like I was planning on not coming back, and then like I just thought like, oh, if I got sick, then I'll like head back. But then when Trudeau started putting out all those messages, being like, come home, and
Yeah.
so, right. And I was talking to a few other artists, Eric too, Etheridge, and he's like, yeah, dude, get home. Like, don't be
Yep.
out down there. So yeah, I'm back. I'm paying rent down there, and I'm not even there, but it's okay.
Well, I know that's the tough part. I have a lot of friends that are dealing with that right now. I'm dealing with that too. I'm still paying rent in Toronto, and I ended up staying in Nashville.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so yeah, I get it from both sides. It's a tough time, but it's cool. I think I mean to look at being a Canadian and look at how Canadians are handling it and banding together is pretty outstanding.
Yeah. No, we've been, really, fortunate, and obviously with having like Wi-Fi and different Facebook groups, and I've been kind of playing in different places, and it's been cool because I've actually been meeting a lot of people that I don't think I would have, necessarily met or came in contact with. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's
It's
been
funny how, like, to be honest with you, on my personal like look at it, I was
yeah.
kind of getting to the point with like social media and technology that before all of this happened that I was just like, ugh, I'm so done with it. I wish it didn't exist. I'm really irritated. And now I'm like, we are so fortunate that we have FaceTime and Zoom and I mean, even Facebook and Instagram for not just artists, but people in general to be able to connect now is crazy.
Connecting, and it's really interesting too to see a lot of like artists, that didn't necessarily use a lot of social media before, and now they're like, it's really the only way right now that we can kind of communicate and do stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's a different time. I mean, hopefully stuff clears up sooner than later. I don't really. It's like I thought that May 1st the borders were gonna be open again, and then they just announced the other day, that other 30 days. So,
Yeah. I
but yeah,
know
yeah,
it's a strange time, but we're adapting and finding a new
yeah,
normal.
yeah, for
Um,
sure.
I have to tell you, so I was on Brett Kissel did an iHeartRadio live thing the other day,
Yeah.
like the living room sessions,
Oh, cool.
and so I jumped on just to say hey, and we were talking about artists that Canadian artists that are coming down to Nashville that are kind of making a name for themselves and that are ones to look out for. And I brought your name up, and he was like, I don't know Josh Ross. I have to look him up. I've got to look up his music. I was like, yes, you do. Check it out. So Brett is turned
Yeah,
on to your stuff
I've
because I was
only
like,
I've only met him so briefly. I only met him twice, and once was at CC Mays, and it was literally just like, "Hey, I'm Josh," and walked away. And then he was in Nashville doing a CMT thing. I think it was like
mhm,
a video that they shot at Whiskey Jam. And I mean, there's so many people there that night. I just bumped
yeah,
again and said hello. So usually, I call it the three rule. And usually, when I meet people, I got to meet them, 3 times until you walk in the room and they go, "Oh, there's that Josh guy," So.
yep,
But yeah, no, I've been loving Nashville. I started, I did a lot of trips in early 2018, 19, and then at the end of 2019, I ended up getting the place there, and then so that was in November, I guess. So yeah, I love it there. It's feels like home, and
yeah.
the atmosphere is great, and
I totally agree. It's there. I think you can't explain to Nashville to someone until they come and experience it for
yeah,
themselves.
yeah,
Because
for
it
sure.
doesn't matter if you're a songwriter or an artist or
Right.
just a music lover or whatever. It's like
Yeah.
you can find something in Nashville that you love.
Well, I appreciate you mentioning the name. That means a lot.
Yeah,
So
I was like, hey, check him out. He's really good. He was like, okay. And then we talked after, and he's like, I will. I'm going to look him up. I'm like, do it. And
that
then
means
take me later.
thank you. No, no, thank you
um,
very much. So
well, I've been enjoying I've not only been enjoying the live performances that you've been doing on socials, but I've also been really impressed by the fact that, and I think, for anybody who has not checked out your music, I love your original stuff, but I also
Thank
love
you.
how you can pretty much cover anybody. I mean, you've done Thomas Rhett to like Four Non Blondes to
Yeah.
Howie Day.
Yeah, I do. I very random songs. I'm very everybody says, like what's your favorite artist or favorite song, and it's so hard for me to,
Yeah.
because I'm such a like song by song person, like if I just like a certain song, I really gravitate towards it. So but yeah, that's part of it's been really interesting. It's almost like going back and playing bars again. You get on and
Yeah.
do like Facebook and Instagram, somebody's like, can you play this artist, can you play this, can you play that, and you're like scrambling together to try to remember if you know how to play certain things. And
Did you
um
play a lot of the bar scene, or do you like,
I did.
obviously when bars are open, do you
Very,
still?
very, yeah. It was brief. I didn't do it probably for about half a year. I did it quite a few things, like in London, Ontario, because I was going to school there, and then I did a lot of like coffee shops and very small things, and kind of did that. That was a lot of like 2017 kind of time. And then now, yeah, I was trying to get the live shows and the full band kind of things. And with moving to Nashville, it's been different because I kind of start working with new people and kind of moving away from some of the people I was working with before. And not that there's anything wrong with the people I was working with. It's just you kind of got to figure out what you want to be
Yeah,
doing.
it's a growth thing, and you
Mhm.
you meet people that, you never thought you would connect with, or that
Yeah,
bring a totally
totally.
different
Yeah,
side of it,
yeah,
including our favorite human, Cam.
yeah. Cam's been great. Yeah, we started working together, and again, one of those things that if I hadn't moved to Nashville and hadn't bumped into him, and if he hadn't checked out my stuff, it's just kind of the way things work. And yeah, I've been fortunate with him, and we were getting really excited to kind of start doing things, and all this kind of happened. But uh,
Yeah.
we decided to put a song out, Chevy song. So looking
Yes.
forward to that, and everybody checking that out. So yeah, it's
So
great.
let's talk a little bit about Chevy, because I think it's a bold move to release a song about a Chevy, because
Oh,
for all those Ford, Dodge, and whatever
was
other
yeah.
truck lovers out there.
I would say Chevy is my favorite truck, but I mean the whole thing of the song is it's more of a that moment, the things that happened were in a Chevy, and that's why it's called Chevy. But the whole thing is about just kind of being young and having fun, and you kind of
Right.
remember always driving around, whether it be your first girlfriend or whatever, and kind of being in a vehicle, and that's kind of the point of the song. And yeah, it's a different. I've gotten so many different reviews. The very first song we put out, the If You Were song, was so like kind of rocky and Luke Combs like. And then the last one was a lot more like, um, mainstream ballady kind of
Right.
Dan Shay kind of vibes. And then this one again is a little bit different. So I'm kind of interested to
This
see.
one's a little more Josh Ross.
Yeah, it's actually honestly it's a totally different sound. Even trying to pinpoint it to something else that somebody else is doing. So
Right.
I'm really interested to see people's reactions. And it's cool nowadays, like as an artist you can go on and see the age ranges of the people that are listening to your stuff, if it's males, if it's females. And both the first song and second song were so different. So I'm
Right.
kind of interested to see what this one will do. But
Well, I think that's the cool thing about being a newer artist, is
Mhm.
that, you're still, I know artists that have been around for 5 years and they say they're still trying to really nail down their sound. So like right now, you have the opportunity to experiment a bit and find, where your voice sounds best and what story you kind of want to tell, and, who you want to be. And the only way to figure that out is by putting out music,
Yeah,
having fans tell you what they like, and it's
exactly. Yeah,
a
yeah.
fun process.
It's a totally, yeah, it is a fun process. And for a while it took me forever to actually put something out. I was so, I think, nervous about it for a while, like, oh, what's the first song going to be? And finally I just realized the best thing to do is you just kind of got to do it and let it kind of do its thing. So
Right.
um, but yeah, no, it's been fun, and definitely, like you said, finding your voice. And the more you work with different people and you write with different style of writers, and then you're writing on your own too, you kind of start to find all that. So
Right. Well, and I think it's important too, like kudos to you for making the jump to go down to Nashville,
yeah,
and jumping in that pond is a very exciting, overwhelming, scary thing to do. But I think, as an artist, you kind of have to put yourself in those uncomfortable
yeah,
positions, and, you know, put yourself out there to learn things, meet the right people and stuff. So I think that was really smart of you to do that. And
yeah,
I'm excited to kind of see where it takes you.
yeah. No, me too. And it's hard because I wasn't necessarily established as like a Canadian artist or anything going on like that. And but I kind of always looked at it the same way I did with sports. Like when I wanted to get better at football, I would go to like training camps in the United States just because the pool was bigger and, you know, there's a lot of people I could learn from. And that's kind of the same thing. Here is just, you know, and I do feel at home there also. You know, I grew up going to all NASCAR races and being in the United States. My dad's a very American mindseted person. So it just kind of fits. Like it just
Right.
feels good. So,
Well,
yeah.
and there's so much talent in Canada, and you can, I
Oh
mean,
my
you
gosh,
can songwrite anywhere, but
yeah,
you grew
yeah.
up in Canada. That's, you know, what you know. So it's good to, you know, open some more doors and learn songwriting. I mean, if you want to learn to be one of the best songwriters, there's no question that being in Nashville is the place to do that.
And
So
that's the reason for it, you know, that like
yeah,
I would say to everybody, you go to the house to the left, you write a song, you go to the house to the right, and you make a demo, and
it's
you're
crazy.
yeah, yeah,
It's
it's
so
great.
cool. Okay, cool. So do you want to play your new song for us?
I was thinking, I think we talked about that because are you going to potentially play the actual track?
I'm gonna play the track, yeah, at some point, but
I'll
we're
maybe
gonna.
play. I might play my last single, or do you want me to do a cover? Because we've been kind of messing around with covers too. So I was gonna let you decide.
Ooh, I kind of like the idea of doing a cover because I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, we're
yeah,
gonna play Chevy
cool.
in the show,
That
but
was kind of my thought. Is I didn't want to play the same song, you know, twice.
good
So,
call.
um,
So what are you
all right,
gonna play?
I'm gonna play a Drake White song, and
Yes, I love Drake White.
yeah, me too. And I met him, fortunate, in 2017. And if anybody hasn't seen his live show, he's so incredible. It is like mind blowing.
And he's the coolest human, and his voice is insane, and he's like one of the best storytellers ever.
Yes, yeah. So this is a song called "Back to Free," and
Oh, nice.
as a full band, we play it too.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna mute my microphone so it doesn't mess up your microphone,
Okay.
and I'll just let you take it away whenever you're ready.
All right. Where'd that dirt-faced, barefoot rebel kid go? He's still crawling, dead fishing at the watering hole. And I must have turned 18 and drove away. After all these years, I'm finding my way. Oh, back to climbing on that old oak tree. Back to the mud underneath my feet. Back to a simpler state of mind. An easier life, Lord, an easier time. Bottle rocket, black cap, fireflies. Plywood ram stack, 3 bricks high. Back to rail, back to me. Back to free like we used to be. You and me, let's get back to free. Yeah, yeah. How the hell do we wind up here? Self-medicated in a lazy chair. Ourself for dying locked in our homes. Nobody's talking, but we're all on the phone. I wanna go back to climbing on that old oak tree. Back to the mud underneath of my feet. Back to a simpler state of mind. An easier life, Lord, an easier time. Bottle rocket, black cap, fireflies. Plywood ram stack, 3 bricks high. Back to rail, back to me. Yeah. Back to free like we used to be. You and me, let's get back to free. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, I said free. I said free. Rope swing, Main Street, pregnancy scare. Fast lane, insane, driving impaired. Empty pockets, sweet lover's lane. county is dry, so let it rain. Sure feels good news plants were tall. A negative test, that old Johnny in law. Cause we had nothing, but we had it all. Cause we were free like we used to be. But you and me, let's get back to free. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh. Where'd that dirt-faced, barefoot rebel kid go? He's still crawled dead fishing at the watering hole. Oh.
Yay! I love that song so much.
Yes.
Ugh,
Favorite. He's
White.
so good.
So good. I know. I feel like he's one of those artists that's highly underrated. And
Yeah.
have you ever seen him play at a festival when he like climbs?
Yeah, that was at Boots. That's the first time I saw him. I think
Yeah.
he was like up the side of the monitor. Yeah, it was
Yep.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a wild man, but
Yeah.
I love that so much, and I hope that he gets to see that because that was such a great rendition of it. I like that you. I feel like one of the hardest things as a new artist, because you know don't have a ton of your own songs out, you end up doing covers,
Yeah.
and you know it's tough to not sing a cover like an artist, but when you make it your own, I think
Yeah.
that's when you realize you've started finding your voice.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Yeah, and he's just someone that I guess it's too, as you write more, you kind of start learning how people phrase things, and there's
Mhm.
certain artists that you kind of just phrase things similar to, or
Yep.
um, just the kind of the singing style too, I guess. So
Who
yeah.
do you get a comparison to the most?
Writing style would probably be like a Ryan Hurd and Morgan Wallen kind of thing. My phrasing's kind of similar to how they kind of are doing that stuff.
Cool. I like that.
And and then singing, I don't know. I kind of get, because the issue is like I'll play a cover song like that, and then I'll play a Sam Hunt song, and they're very
Right.
both different. So somewhere in the middle, if you're to blend, I don't know, those kinds of artists
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, it's always interesting to hear who people compare you to, or you know, say, "Oh, you really sound like that person," and you know, someone else might hear your voice and be like, "Ah, I don't hear that at all. I hear
Yeah.
this way." But I've seen so much growth in your voice since like the first time
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I heard it.
Yeah.
So I think you're definitely going in the right direction. It
Thank you.
sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Who I saw you went and saw Sam Hunt play in Nashville.
Yeah, that was really cool. I was
So
lucky.
jealous.
That was because of Cam, and yeah, that was cool because it was before the record came out, and oh
Yeah,
my, I mean, I'm such a huge fan of that 2016 song.
me too.
Every time I hear it, it's like, try not to get emotional. That night it was crazy. You literally look around the room, and when he was playing that song, everybody looked like they were gonna cry. Like, it was so good, and I'm just happy him as an artist. He's finally putting songs out like that. I think for a long time he gave a lot of songs away that would be like that,
Yeah.
and it's good because it suits him really well. So
And it's cool too. Like, I think that's one of the lessons to learn as a songwriter. I was just chatting with Jesse Frazier,
yeah,
who's Rhythm House and obviously a huge songwriter, and talking about Thomas Rhett, like how it's amazing, but also scary as a songwriter to be super vulnerable and write about things that are really, really close to home in your life. But it's also such a beautiful thing, you know, to learn to be comfortable with writing that. Are you still not super comfortable with writing about your personal stuff? Or are you
um,
like, I'm there?
I've definitely been going through things, definitely with moving, whether it be family and relationships and stuff like that. So I've really found writing, especially on my own, and I wrote on my own a lot when I first started out, and then for so long I actually really didn't write by myself, and recently with all this kind of going on, I've been writing by myself again. Yeah, it's been nice to kind of put feelings to paper, whether it even be just what's going on in the world right now, or it be personal kind of things too. So yeah.
What are you are you most looking forward to like finally being able to get out and just play live shows or get
Yeah.
back into Nashville or?
Yeah, I'm such a people person, and I got to play so many shows in 2017, and then 18 and 19 were both kind of slower because of writing and then
Mm,
recording. And I think this year I was really looking forward to kind of doing more of that again. That's kind of where I'm probably my happiest is I really like meeting people
yeah.
and kind of spending time, just getting to know what people like and that kind of stuff. So hopefully once this all clears up and whether it be down in Nashville or in the States or up here, hopefully we'll have some stuff going
Yes,
on.
for
Yeah.
sure. Well, and you're in a cool time right now because you're building your fan base. So that's like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
most fun time to be able to go out and meet people and like meet people that hopefully in 10 years from now are still following your music.
Oh,
And
it's so cool. And I mean, like even, daily you get messages, somebody that hears your song on like an Apple Music playlist or a Spotify playlist, and they just never heard of you before, and they're like, do you have anything else out? Or they want to, get more, and that's great. One thing I found super funny is, with singles, it's like you put one song out and then 2 weeks later people are like, oh, so when's the next song? It's like, I just put one out, it's like,
I know I was literally like, so Chevy, and then
yeah,
what comes next?
yeah. I got a bunch,
Yeah,
and then my plan was hopefully to record again in June, July. So we'll see, depending on how all this goes.
fingers
Because
crossed.
yeah, I haven't recorded anything since 2018. So
Wow,
yeah, so it'll be interesting. All these songs that are coming out, I had recorded before 2019. So
that's
um,
crazy. You've got a whole like extra chapter of your life to,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, bunch of new ones that I'm very very excited about. And again, like you said, it's as you find your sound, you get kind of more of you. So that's what I'm looking forward to. But
So who did you write Chevy with?
I didn't write Chevy.
Oh,
Chevy's
you
another
okay.
no, and that's another thing. A lot of people always ask, and especially in Nashville, because you kind of meet with publishing companies and you go talk to people, and they always want to know because there's a lot of artists that are like, I want to write my own songs, and I've always been one. We had written I think 65 songs before I cut that EP in 2018, and Chevy was the only song out of the five that I didn't write. And for me, it was best song wins. And there
Mm.
was something about that song that I just like, I could see myself singing it. It was kind of fun and the feeling side of it. So I didn't write that. But I mean, yeah, as long as you feel like, and I think we talked about this before, is like, if you felt like you wrote it, if
Yeah,
you feel like you can relate to it, then a good song's a good song. So
exactly. I mean, hey, that's if you can learn early on in your career that best song wins all the
yeah,
time,
yeah,
you'll have a much easier battle through
yeah,
this crazy industry because that, I mean, yeah, if you can hear a song and go, hey, I didn't write this and there's probably things about it that
yeah.
maybe aren't 100% accurate, but if they touch on little things in your life that you can relate to, that's how you can make it your own.
And that's when like there's certain songs like for me, like even Sam's 2016 song is like, oh man, like I could feel writing that song. Or even there's a few Morgan Wallen songs like Chasing You and stuff where it's like those are songs that you felt like you would have wrote. Even when I started out, I think I did an Aaron Goodwin cover video, Don't Ever Let Go. And that's how Aaron and I, kind of bonded and got to know each other. And it's just because like I felt like I could have written that song, or I felt like that
Right.
was something I was going through, in my life. So um but yeah, best song
I
wins.
can't wait to hear more, hopefully when you're able to like go and record stuff. But for now we can listen to what you've got out so
Yeah,
far and
yeah,
Chevy, and also you have an abundance of covers that you've posted. So people
yeah.
can definitely go check out all of those. And then
Gotta
are you gonna keep
keep
doing some
busy.
live stuff or
Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing the live streams, and then I'm trying to, post cover videos, and I ask people, what they want to hear, and it's actually been kind of cool because I'll get songs that I haven't even listened to in years. Like I'm actually posting one later on today, and it was a song that I haven't played literally in 2 years, but I just was like, this is a great song, and
all right, well, I'm gonna brainstorm. I'm gonna think about this, but I'm gonna think of which song I want you to play
yeah,
and I'll
I'll
send
do
it
it.
to you. Yeah.
Totally, yeah, yeah,
I gotta think of like the perfect one that I'm trying to find that I think your voice would kill. So
yeah,
hopefully you
yeah.
don't hate it.
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm sure you will be. All right. Well, cool. Thank you so much for doing this. And I
I
hope you
appreciate
guys
it
are
as
staying
always.
safe and
Yeah,
sane and whatnot. But
yeah, you too.
we'll
You